today at Brothership Brewing.
The reason those space debris are so good and so highly sought after is because we get very, very specific 3 to 4 different types of coconut. We sometimes get them shipped from other countries just to put them in.
What sets us apart in our Space Debris series, which is our barrel age series, some people like to use one bourbon and that's their base. Part of our charm is that we don't mind double barreling.
Cody's like, you are way past when you were supposed to stop and take the brewer break. You'll fix it in post. Don't give me that look.
That's what I'll do.
Somebody will do it.
Sure.
I have a crazy one that's on the way.
Oh, can you give us a hint?
It's gonna be...
Welcome to Crafty Brewers Tales Behind Craft Beer, the podcast that will increase your enjoyment of craft beer and your appreciation for the people who brew it. On this episode, we have traveled south of Chicago to Mokena, Illinois to go from grain to glass with the folks behind Brothership Brewing. My guests tonight are co-owner Tom Soltis and head brewer David Basile. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We're glad to have you. Good to see you. I am beer drinker and Hellraiser Brian Noonan. All my opinions are strictly my own for what will prove to be good reason. Now, behind the camera, I always like to be very dramatic because he likes a big introduction. Behind the camera is our executive producer, Cody Goff. Cody, what has you excited about this episode?
I'm excited to talk about what makes a balanced hazy IPA and how can double barrel aging set a barrel aging program apart. Although single barrel aging is also a big part of that. We'll get into barrel aging. It'll be really great. Also, I believe this is our first brewery with a functional UFO. I think it's functional, right?
It is.
Is the alien real next to it? Is there another alien inside of it?
I can neither confirm or deny.
Wow. It's almost like we're working at a covert CIA brewery.
Oh.
But I don't think we are. So thank you, Cody. Always a pleasure. So we are at Brothership Brewing, 18781 90th Avenue, Unit E. That's the important part. Unit E in Mokena, Illinois. Brothershipbrewing.com is the website. They are dedicated to making quality beer while providing a comfortable and friendly atmosphere in their brewery and taproom. And full disclosure, this has become one of my wife and my favorite places to go and have a couple of pints. So they're known for their stouts. They're known for their hazies. They're known for all kinds of great beers. It is a very welcoming, very comfortable tap room, and you should get here. So again, my guest, Tom Soltis, he is a co-owner, and David Basile is the head brewer. David came, he's only been here since 2025. In November, he came to Brothership, but he has a storied history, which we will get to. And it's very exciting to be here because they just celebrated their 6th anniversary, which is a great milestone to reach. So we'll talk about some of the things they did to celebrate that. You guys, again, thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Well, Mokena does seem to be a town that really supports its own thing. I had one of my aunts lived in Mokena for years and years before it was even really a town. And I lived in Frankfurt for a while, and Mokena does seem to support their own, which is nice. Why Mokena? Was it just because your co-owners were here before brewing and lived? Did they live in Mokena, or they were just from around here? How did you end up in Mokena? Because a lot of people maybe have never even heard of Mokena, Illinois.
Right.
You should come here. It's right off I-80. Really easy to get to.
Yeah, I thought the same. And I still believe the same.
Yes.
And that's not the way I meant that. But yes, we do get our fair share of regulars in here and brand new. People come far and wide. Yeah. They seek it out. The funny thing about it is the first thing that they say is, boy, you're heading back here, aren't you? I said, yeah, but if you get here once, you're always going to know where you're going.
The first time I was on the other side of the building, and I was like, where the hell's the door?
Right. I'll tell you what, some of the best beer I've ever had in the country were hard to find, to be honest with you. If you ever noticed that. I'm not putting this in that category. I'm just saying that I know that there's people out there that if somebody wants to find good beer, they have to look for it sometime, and they're going to find it. Yeah. And the fact that we've been here for 6 years proves that they have found us. So getting back to your question, I don't remember what the question was.
The question was, why Mokena? Was it because your co-owners lived here?
No, there was a few different criteria points that we're trying to meet. Without getting in too deep in the woods, we didn't want the Chicagoland area. It was oversaturated with breweries, great breweries, matter of fact. I mean, that's a tough market to be had. We've seen a niche or a void here in Mokena, Mokena, New Lenox. when we started looking, there was a couple things that we were looking for. We were looking for a warehouse, obviously. There's enough water and electricity pumping through this place. We didn't want to have to demolition something.
Yeah.
So we had the opportunity to build this from scratch.
Okay.
But the main thing is that we are in Will County, and we have Chicago water here.
Yes.
Which, still gets its fair treatment to an extent, but nothing like it where it could be. I mean, I know there's some breweries out there with some tougher water situations than we are.
Well, David, let me jump in on that point, and then we've got more questions for everybody, obviously. How we've heard from other brewers, and do you believe that Chicago water is, like, we've heard Chicago water is the best for brewers? There's something about the mineral levels and all of that in Chicago water that makes it special when it comes to brewing.
I don't know if I would say special in a sense. It's not like water out in Dublin that's, Dublin, Ireland, that's very special. It's very specific. But it's very, very neutral. It has a really good baseline.
Okay.
So you can make an American IPA and you don't have to change the water too much. You can make a lager. You don't have to change the water too much. Obviously hazy IPAs are totally different. You're going to have to add or subtract, whatever your water profile is going to be. But it's kind of like a really good, nice, balanced water profile.
Okay. One last businessy question, then we're going to get into some other things. But Cody mentioned at the beginning, I love the vibe of the UFO and the slogan, Believe in Beer. Was one of you abducted by an alien at some point? How did this whole thing come to be? Because there's alien things everywhere. And there's two aliens staring at me now. Not you guys. Yeah. You seem very human.
Well, thank you.
But you're welcome. But yeah, what's the deal?
I'll be honest. When I met my partners Ryan and Kyle, they were brewing under that moniker and winning awards as home brewers.
Okay.
They were once called the Brew Bros. Okay,
right.
as that was their moniker, their label.
Okay.
And what happened was they started getting into the finals, and it turned out that they in more than one competition they ran into another brew group that were called the Brew Bros. Oh. So I guess I'm not sure of the entire story on how it went, but they conceded the name. And it kind of just transformed into Brothership.
Brothership sounds better.
Well,
the Brew Bros.
Well, everybody's got a name, and like I said,
got a name.
And I didn't want to change it at all. I love the whole vibe. I think there's a lot of different ways. Do I believe? Yes. I mean, it's a big universe out there,
That's true.
So,
do aliens drink beer though? That's the question.
I doubt it. If they do, well,
they're welcome here. Welcome here. They go, oh, my uncle's up there.
Exactly.
That would be fantastic.
But yeah, it was inherited.
Okay.
And expanded upon. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
It was. I was really happy with the name.
Well, it does set you apart. It is very unique, and it's a fun vibe when you come in for the first time. You go, oh, this is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So,
well,
all right, David, we got to get to you. Because you did not start out in brewing. You started out in the restaurant world, and you actually cooked at some really well-regarded places like Summerfest Club in Boston and Moto here in Chicago. What led to the pivot from the culinary world to the brewing world?
The actual pivot itself was actually due to my wife. She asked me what I wanted for Christmas one year, and I said, I've been surrounded by some of the best food in the world. I used to run a wine bar and was doing all these different wine pairings, and I said I would love to make or learn how to make either beer or wine. So for Christmas, she got me a beer kit and a winemaking kit.
Oh, wow.
And the winemaking kit was much more expensive. So I said, well, if I'm going to screw up the first batch, let's try the beer first. And I remember I did, it was a 1 gallon batch of a coconut porter, and it turned out amazing. And from then on, I dumped as much money as I had into bigger vessels, different brewing, homebrew machines, and then it just turned into a hobby, and then hobby turned into competitions, awards, and then,
So I'm guessing then you didn't use one of those kits with the prepackaged recipe. You created that coconut porter
It was a stout, or sorry, a porter recipe.
Okay.
So it already had all the grain and everything.
Okay.
So I did an actual mash. I didn't do the liquid extract malt or anything like that. I always told myself if I'm going to put the time and effort in, I'm going to learn how to mash and do everything. So I think that process too is what I liked most about it.
It sounds like there would be some similarities between cooking and part of it. I don't know if there's a more elevated word for, a chef preparing things, but between cooking and brewing, are there similarities, and what did you find as you got deeper into the brewing process? What were the big differences that you found?
The biggest difference would be start time and finished product.
Okay.
So the one thing when you're on the line for service, you might take a day, 2 days tops if you're doing like a reduced sauce, like a demi-glace or something like that. That takes 2 days, but that's kind of like the max time that it might take to unless you're curing something. Yeah. But it's a very shorter window of process from prepping something out to cooking it on the line and then going to the customer, and then they get their gratification, you get your gratification because you're serving them.
Yeah.
Beer is you're creating something that you don't have any ability to change things on the fly.
Okay.
You don't have the ability to add a pinch more salt, for the most part. You can't really change anything. You have to be very prepared from start to finish and kind of know what you want 3 to 4 weeks out from when that product's even going to be finished.
And in some cases, as evidenced by the barrels behind us, a lot longer.
Sometimes
right?
30 plus months.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, once everything is in process, that's the recipe. Once maybe, like you said, add some hops or something to dry hop it later or something like that. But the recipe you have to test, or you have to know just gut instinct going in what it's going to taste like coming out, right?
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because you spend so much time preparing and writing down exact formulations, numbers, how much acid you're going to put in to where your pH should land. You do all these things beforehand, but at the end of the day, as soon as you put the yeast in, that's it.
Whatever happens, happens.
I mean, that's the fun part is the yeast does all the work.
Yeah.
I mean, you guide it, you can carbonate it, you can obviously give it the best treatment it can, but at the end of the day, the yeast is what's making it beer.
And when the yeast does what you want it to, obviously the beer comes out just the way you planned it. What happens when the yeast does what yeast is going to do? It doesn't care what David wants it to do.
No. At the end of the day, no.
We don't even know. That's not going to work.
But as long as you keep it in your, as long as you have a good, healthy yeast pitch, I think we're pretty good on. We like to repitch certain yeasts, so we'll actually get specific timelines of when that yeast is finished.
So that makes it easier for you to know exactly what it's going to do once it's in there.
Yeah, because we could tell how healthy the yeast is, and then we can pitch to kind of where we want the beer to finish. So we can kind of guide the yeast to where it needs to go.
There you go. See, you're the boss of the yeast. Yeast isn't the boss of you. I like that. Nobody should have yeast as the boss.
No.
So in 2020, you got your first brewing job. You're at Mad Hatchet. Mm-hmm. How did you end up there, and did anything that you brewed there follow you throughout your career and ended up here at Brothership?
I'm a firm believer that no beer should be taken from one brewery and go to another.
Oh, okay. Even if it was your recipe.
No, because at the end of the day, if you made something great, you're going to make something else great at another
That's a good
location.
Point. Yeah.
There's a lot of good breweries, and you shouldn't. I don't believe personally that you should like take a recipe and then just replicate it because it was good.
Is there something that like maybe you did it and you said, oh, at the next place that was really good and people liked it there, but now that I'm here, I'm going to tweak it certain ways. Is anything? Have you done that at any point?
There was a sour that I did at Mad Hatchet, and it was an Italian ice inspired sour.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up getting Sicilian lemon puree and did this sour, and then actually back sweetened it, and it just came out like exactly how I thought, how I planned. And that kind of balance between sweet and sour, really, not that beer itself moved, but the combination of balancing sweet and acid to make kind of like a fun summer drink. So you could take that into any recipe you want, whether it's seltzer, sour, kettle sour. I mean, you can really kind of play with that.
And so then you move on to Workforce, and we were at Workforce, and we talked to Brandon about all the people who have come out of Workforce. It's like his own little coaching tree down there. So you're at Workforce, and then you stayed there for a while, and this was your next stop. What is it? And we've noticed this throughout the industry. It's really good that people start and they move up, and then they just find their own brewery. How did you end up here at Brothership? And that's probably a question for Tom too. Other than the fact that David can lift the big bags of grain. What drew you here, and what drew him to you?
So I've even back when I was at Mad Hatchet, I was drinking Brothership beer. I love Hazy IPA, and I just remember, I think the first time I had their Hazy was at some sort of event, and I drank it, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is over the top. So I always kind of admired that, and then I ended up going to Workforce just because Brandon and Amanda, they have such a good brewery. They're such good people, but they're also extremely smart. So not only Brandon, but their head brewer, Jake, such an awesome guy to be able to bounce ideas back and forth, have deep discussions on brewing techniques. And, we just had this connection to where, a lot more like traditional styles.
Yeah.
But everything is just so well executed. And I love their beers, everything about them. But as far as beers that I would like to create, I personally like, the more not off the wall, but over the top.
Okay.
Stouts and hazy IPAs and stuff like that. So as soon as I saw there was a job opening, I felt bad, but I reached out to one of the other owners and I said, you guys looking? And so then I came and talked with all of them.
Well, and Tom, so you've got David who's coming to you guys, and he's like, hey, I want to come here. As I mentioned, Brothership known for your hazies, you're known for your stouts, and now here comes a guy that's what he wants to brew, that's what he likes to drink. What else are you looking for when it comes to, because you had one brewer, and now you're moving to a new brewer. What do you look for in bringing a brewer on board?
Well, I think it was familiarity. I know David through different festivals.
Okay.
I mean, he is that guy that shows up and says hello all the time.
Nice.
I remember stuff like that. I remember back in the day, and I can't tell you where it was and when it was, but you said something. If you ever need a brewery, you let me know. So I don't know, something stuck to me there. And I know my partners, Ryan and Kyle. Ryan develops a lot of the recipes he has since day one. He was the initial brewer here.
Okay.
He's decided to step back. He's raising a family.
Yes.
He's a much younger man than I am. So I get it. Yeah. I've been there, done that. So God bless. But it was funny. This is our second hire for a brewer, and it was the first time we went to hire a brewer. We put it out to the general public, and anybody that was interested. And I mean, we went through the gamut. I mean, we must have had 12, 14 interviews. This time around, it's kind of like we honed in. We had 2 or 3 names in mind, and we knew that they would be a fit possibly. Yeah. And so we didn't let anybody know. We just called these people individually. And David, I think you were surprised. Are you sure?
Something. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Are you sure this is
me?
Is this really Tom? But anyway, at the end of the day, David checked all the right boxes. Like I said, he's a great brewer, a friendly sort, and I appreciated his beers before he started making them for us.
There you go.
So that was part of the charm for me.
That's nice. That's a good deal. We're going to take our break in a minute, but I've mentioned a couple times, you're known for the Hazies. This is the, what one is
That's the experimental 008.
Okay.
So it's a New Zealand special, basically.
And as I've mentioned on the last few shows, I'm really getting into, I know I'm late to the party, but I'm really getting into Hazies. And I've had two, you did one for your anniversary that was a wild success, Orbit 6.
Oh, yeah.
Which is gone.
Yeah.
But you can still get it on cans if you come to the tap room. It's in Mokena. So you know where that is.
Cans are gone.
The cans are going too? Okay.
I said, you asked me if I had a can for you, and I said, I have a can
well,
for
folks, host your own podcast, and then you get a special can of beers. But listen, the experimental 008 is phenomenal. But the point of this rambling, incoherent question is that now you told me, all right, and we've got the future labels right here. Before we take the break, tell me the direction that you guys are going and what Bright Lights is.
Well, we're not going to stray very far from
In addition,
the New
I
England.
guess it's not going to.
Right.
You're not changing direction. You're adding something to the.
Basically, even I, as a New England hazy lover, that's my favorite. That's my style. I like a good stout, good barrel-aged stout. But there are times where, I hit that wall.
Yes.
We are going to be featuring and introducing to the marketplace a 4.5% light lager.
Okay.
Called Bright Lights.
That's seeming to be a trend, right? Where with the lower ABV, just not the lager you're doing, but a lot of people are looking for that lower ABV.
They are.
The crushable.
Right. The non-alcoholics beers or beverages, I should say, are taking off.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever go that far. I mean, that's like.
Yeah, that could be a bridge too far.
Yeah. That's reserved for people that know how to do it well.
Yes.
On us, I think that when some of our beers top out at 14%, or you have a Sauce and Space at 9.7 or 9.8% as a hazy.
Wow.
And a lot of our doubles are coming in somewhere in the vicinity of 8.4 to 8.8. It's nice to be able to offer somebody a 4.5% percent beer, if that's what they choose to drink.
Sure.
We are moving a little bit that way. I don't want to say it's taking over.
Sure.
We just want to make sure that we're meeting everybody's request and everybody's needs and not giving anybody a reason not to drink our beer.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense. What kind of adjustment do you have to make mentally where you go, I like making hazies, I like brewing stouts, I like brewing all the other things that we offer. Now, is there a big change in process when you're trying to make not only a lager but then a light lager?
Process is completely different.
Okay.
Just from making hazy IPA, it's completely different.
Yeah.
But I was excited when everybody agreed for us to make this, because I kind of wanted to shed light on, you can make some of the best hazies out there, but you can also make exceptional lagers as well. So there's a lot of places that make really good lagers, but, we didn't want to just make a lager that's, here's an option, if you like we still wanted it to be an exceptional lager.
Right. It's got to measure up to everything else on the portfolio, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the process is very, very different.
There's, from what I've been told, it's even though it's a simpler recipe, allegedly, it's harder to make because the mistakes are if you make a mistake, it's glaring.
Yeah.
Whereas, so people go, oh, lager, that should be pretty easy. Technically, on paper, it's easier, but actually getting it into the glass is much more difficult and much more time-consuming.
Nowadays you have these exceptional hops from all over the world that just have these huge, strong flavors and aromas, and they're amazing. So to make a really good hazy, it's I wouldn't say it's easy, but you have a little bit more wiggle room. But for an American light lager, you have such a clean baseline that it shows any imperfections at all.
We are at Brothership Brewing. We're going to take Cody's like, you are way past when you were supposed to stop and take the brewer break. But we're talking. You'll fix it in post. Don't give me that look.
Is that what I'll do?
But you will.
That's what I'll do?
Somebody will do it.
Sure.
Yeah. AI? No, it'll be you.
Aliens.
It'll be you and
AI?
it'll be the aliens.
I hardly knew her.
Yeah.
All right, that didn't make any sense. We're gonna come back with Brewer's Choice. We are at Brothership Brewing, 18781 90th Avenue, Unit E in Mokena, Illinois. Brothershipbrewing.com for all the information. Tom Soltis, David Basile. We will be back with more in just a second on Crafty Brewers. Welcome back to Crafty Brewers, Tales Behind Craft Beer. We are in Mokena, Illinois at Brothership Brewing. They're at 18781 90th Avenue, Unit E, Mokena. In brothershipbrewing.com is the website. Go there, find out all the stuff. Tom Soltis is here. He's one of the owners. He's co-owner. And David Basile is here. He is the head brewer here at Brothership. And it is time for our Brewers Break, where you guys decide what beer we should talk about. And before we get to that, I know we've mentioned numerous times that Brothership is known for your Hazies and your Stouts. We also talked about Bright Lights, the American Light Lagers are coming. But your portfolio has a little something for everybody. So if people are like, I'm not really a New England hazy person, I don't like stuff. My wife loves your sours. And in the fall, your Oktoberfest is phenomenal. So you do have a little bit of something for everybody, right?
Correct. The one that I'm most proud of, and that's going to be coming soon, it's El Ovni, which is our Mexican lager.
Ooh.
And that was an award winner, actually.
Was it?
It was. We won I want to say it was a silver medal for that.
And you've won a number. Speaking of medals, we will show the awards. You've got a number of them hanging up there. You won a couple FOBAB. You won a bunch of awards.
Yeah, it's nice to be recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that if somebody hasn't been here before and they might have heard of it or they might have met you guys at a festival and they come in, I know as a consumer, if I go into a place for the first time and I see a lot of awards hanging there, I'm like, oh, these guys must know what they're doing.
Oh.
I mean, it's important for people to see those, right? I mean, I know brewers are humble about that, or it doesn't really matter.
It's not so much to show it off. It's a sense of pride for us because we know how much hard work it goes into getting one of those. Sure. From sourcing the ingredients to brewing it, just to packaging it up to send off to the competition. There's a lot of attention to detail that goes into that. And like I said, any award that we receive is truly appreciated, and we don't take anything for granted.
Very nice. Well, what are we going to showcase? This looks very hazy, so I'm guessing it's a hazy.
It is. It's our newest New England IPA. It is called Antimatter, featuring Peacherine hop, which is a New Zealand hop as well.
And what is Peacherine?
Peacherine.
So it sounds like it would be peachy, but that's probably wrong.
Yeah, I don't.
There's some peach notes out
There is like ripe peach, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think overripe peach, but there's also some citrus. Because there is a little citra in there as well.
Okay.
So there's maybe a little bit of like a melon citrus with a little bit of you could say stone fruit, you could say overripe peach.
Okay.
Right.
But which one would you prefer, I say? Doesn't matter.
I personally like peach better than stone fruit, but
wow, another stone fruit reference.
Can I say I was having a conversation with some family over the weekend about like what are the best breweries we've talked to and what make the best beers. And to me, it's a thing that it's really hard to market probably, but it's balance. I think all the best beers we've had anywhere is a well-balanced beer where nothing's really overpowering and you can just get a lot of everything. And I'm getting that from this. So I'm wondering how you feel about, because, and I'm not an IPA drinker typically, but hazies are definitely in my wheelhouse, right? It's got that smooth hopness. You could tell there's like hops in there, but like it doesn't bite you. It doesn't like try to rip your throat out or anything. And I get a little bit of the fruit, but as you're talking even, you can't really even, it's kind of, well, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. because there's so much balance and that you can't say like, oh, it's like a peach or oh, it's like a mango. Like it's so balanced. How do you feel about that as you approach a beer like this?
I think there's more that goes into it than a lot of people know, which I'm glad that you appreciate the balance that goes into it, because I know Ryan and I, we discuss beers in great detail throughout the whole process. We like to look at a beer that we've made before and then say, well, how can we make this a little bit better next time? Do we drop the pH, a tenth of a point? Do we change this or change that? I think too, because this isn't a double, it looks like a double because there is some really, really nice haze to it. But because it is 6.7% and it's not an 8+% beer, I think that the turbidity kind of comes out a little bit more because the color is a little bit brighter.
Explain what turbidity is, please.
I would say the amount of particles in suspension.
Okay.
How cloudy it is. So if you have hazy IPAs are going to be cloudy in general. They're going to be hazy. But if you have something that's very light, usually that means that there's going to be less grain in the recipe. The least amount of grain means the lighter in color it is. Okay. So even though it's hazy, if it's a little bit lighter in color, it's going to look a little bit more bright and almost creamy. Okay. It might even look more dense because there is still a little bit more.
This does look denser than the Spearmint Light.
And that also can be attributed to different hops. So
and that's what I wanted to ask too, because I know that the hops do make the difference in the flavors in this. Mm-hmm. So Cody was right. There is a balance, but say the difference between this one, the dark matter, antimatter, sorry, okay. Antimatter right here in the cans. Difference between the antimatter and the experimental 8 is that there is a little more hop presence in that. Which of the hops gives it that? And it's not overpowered. Like if you think, that's why maybe I don't like West Coast because they're too hoppy. This is not that, but there is that hint of hop more so than in the other one.
I think a lot of people don't think about the fact that alcohol itself is sweet.
Okay.
So you can have something that finishes the same final gravity, but it might perceive as sweeter because there is more alcohol in it.
Oh, okay. So because this one is a higher ABV than this one.
2% higher.
2% higher. Right.
Which it doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely can contribute to it.
No, I was going to say.
Have a couple, then let me know how you're feeling about that.
Wait, I didn't realize alcohol itself is sweet. Then how do you explain vodka?
I mean, that's a distilled product, so you're stripping everything out of it.
Yeah. But shouldn't it taste sweet then?
Not if it's being. I mean, you're getting all
in the car that you were going to consume on the way home.
It's a different process than brewing, obviously.
Yeah, it's a totally different process.
Yeah. Okay.
Distilling and brewing it may seem like it should be the same.
Oh no, sure. I know the process is different. I'm just thinking like when you said alcohol is sweeter, I'm just thinking heavy, high ABV. Like
I mean, you're getting way more like just pure ethanol from. Like that's like it's so pungent because there's nothing backing it up, so you're just getting that straight kind of ethanol hit to your face, which makes it actually is somewhat sweet. If you were to drink vodka, there is a sweetness. You just don't notice it because there's so much heat that goes behind it.
It'll burn.
Yeah.
There's all these things, but when you have so much more in the glass besides just the alcohol, it's helps perceive as being a little bit sweeter.
Just a note, we do not make vodka here at Brothership.
No
booze here, Cody. I don't know why.
Definitely not.
Let's say anybody. I was talking about this. I
don't want to lead anybody down the wrong path today.
This is a brewery where they're making beer.
Yeah.
I understand that.
However, nice segue. Me tipped off by an inappropriate question from you. it would be silly if I did not mention the distilled barrels that were behind us, because you do have a barrel aging program that goes in, and we have a couple here on the table. So tell us about these 2 new barrel aged stouts and what's going in. What do you envision going in, or what's in some of these? But let's start with the 2 that are on the table.
So, first off, you have a Muamua, which is kind of the most, in my opinion, it's one of the best showcases of what our barrel-aged stouts are. I mean, it's just barrel, stout, and then barreled again. So there's
what kind of barrels do you use?
Usually for these, we'll do a bourbon and then a rye.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But so these were actually started in a bourbon barrel and then finished in a rye barrel for the secondary. But this is nice because there's no flavors, there's no vanilla, there's no coconut. It's just
straight barrel,
barrel, and the stout itself.
Now, for the base, for the stout that you put in there, is it one that's on tap, or is it a special stout that you guys brew just that you're going to use for barrels?
We do brew a base stout for barrels.
Okay.
Basically, that's
the
answer.
We do have different stout recipes though, because we'll have a stout that might finish a little bit drier, ferment a little bit more, and then we might also have a stout that finishes very high in terminal gravity. So that way we can actually blend different barrels together.
And we've talked a lot about bourbon barrels in the past. We've talked about different spirit barrels, and I know you guys have some up here in some rum barrels, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. When you double barrel from a bourbon barrel to a rye barrel, what kind of characteristics then are infused in the stout that are different than if you just did a bourbon or a rye barrel separately?
I believe what sets us apart in our Space Debris series, which is our barrel aged series, is the fact that we use a secondary rye barrel as a blend. Some people like to use one bourbon and that's their base. Part of our charm is that we don't mind double barreling at all, and these 2 right here showcase that perfectly.
So every barrel-aged stout from Brothership is double barrel.
Not every.
No, okay.
No, I'm not trying to mislead you here.
Oh, no. That's why I'm just asking.
I'm saying that these two
are. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones as well.
Yeah.
A lot of them are blended though. So we might, these are very special. So they are the double barreled. So they're special to us, but we also, even for Space Debris, we will do, like one bourbon and then one rye.
Okay.
Even if it's a single barrel, but we still like to blend.
We'll blend it. It doesn't go from one barrel to another. They're just blended at that point in time.
How long a process does it take to bring these from thought to
almost 3 years?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Painstaking for sure. I'm very proud of our base, and like I said, Muamua really shows it off, probably more than any other stout we do. I know the people really like our barrel-aged Space Debris series, and who doesn't? I like it as well. But we adjunct it, and it could be as simple as adjuncting it with raw and toasted coconut. But this is just the quality-based stout that we would normally brew, and we put it in barrel for 3 years.
Yeah. 3 years.
And this is what the result is. I get a lot of comments saying, I really like your adjuncts that you use, but I also hear a lot, probably even more so, that I like straight barrel. I like to be able to taste the barrel characteristics.
Yeah.
And every barrel gives a different characteristic. Sure. And you'll never have, like this Muamua, we try to brew it once a year, but this Muamua is far different from the last one we brewed.
Just because of the barrels?
Just the barrel characteristics that it's getting.
And even though your barrels are indoors, the temperature fluctuates, so that changes all the characteristics of the barrel and how much was in there, how.
Well, we not only have to worry about the temperature, Dave also brews in here. So it does get a little warm at times.
Yes.
And we fog up the windows in here with the brew, with Dave Brewing back there. So yeah, there is a lot of moisture, a lot of heat that come back here, and we'll change the barrel temperatures and things of that nature as well. So, but
David, you like I mentioned, you came in November of 25. So you're kind
September.
of September. Sorry,
yeah.
We got to change the website, change your LinkedIn page. But anyway, you're kind of a caretaker for these because obviously you weren't here 3 years ago. So as now you taste these and you're like, I know these are important to Brothership. You said when you're thinking of the next iteration, is it something that you want to put your own signature on 100%, or do you want to take the best characteristics of this? And because I would imagine you don't want to copy it. And you can't really copy it because of the barrels, right?
No.
But how much then input will you take from this for the next iteration that's going to come out?
So the barrels that were here, obviously before I was here, I think my iteration that I kind of bring to the table, I guess, would be Ryan and I. We both taste together the barrels. But a lot of them were finished. A lot of them are different recipes. So a lot of them get brewed and say, we're going to do something with this, but we don't know right now. So I kind of look at it as like, you get to be that chef that blends things together to create something. So you don't really have this barrel is going to be with this barrel in 2 years, and then we're going to blend it.
So you're taking all these ingredients like you would if you were creating any sort of dish.
So it doesn't matter if I brewed it, if somebody before me brewed it.
Right.
At the end of the day, you kind of look at, hey, this stout finished very high in gravity. Let's let it age another 6 months. This one is kind of right at peak, so let's do something with this now. And then we have a really good rye barrel, so let's blend it with this. So it's a lot of.
Besides just tasting it, what goes into deciding if a barrel-aged stout needs to stay, like you said, we're going to give this another 6 weeks or another 6 months? How do you decide, this one's ready?
The barrel speaks to you, believe it or not.
Does it really?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And you'll know right away. I mean, the funny thing about it is that we just don't just
leave
test
them there?
one at a time, you know. I mean, these guys are constantly at it every couple of weeks and trying different barrels and seeing what matches, and they have a pretty good understanding and a nice system to know where their tasting notes are on particular barrels, and they know where a lot of these barrels are going to be going. Like I said, this new this barrel-aged Basile, what we like to call the OG coconut, we've already selected those barrels already so we know what ones we're going to be using for that.
I mean, or I'm guessing most people have had a bourbon or a rye or a rum, and I understand that the wood, the beer is pulling those spirits out of the wood. Is there a different when you're testing them? Does a rum barrel speak to you differently than a bourbon barrel or a rye barrel, or do you kind of get a baseline where you go, I know what
it should taste like.
I know what it should taste like, and then you go, this one's not ready, or this
Correct.
one.
Well, first of all, we've never done a stout in a rum barrel.
Okay, what do you got? Oh, that's right. In the rum barrel, you have.
So I just want to make sure that we clarify that.
Well, there have been places that do.
No, I understand.
Yeah. I forgot. You said the rum barrel is for something else.
Right. We try to do it once a year if we can find the right rum barrels, but our barrel age seltzer Pina Colada.
Oh, all right.
And it's pretty special. It goes pretty fast. We don't can it. It's only available here in the tap room, and we can't keep it around long enough. There'll only be 2 barrels, which will probably it'll probably give us 3 to 4 half barrels, and then once those are gone, they're gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
but
get it while you can.
The barrels all give you the same menu. You can kind of figure out what's going on with those barrels. Let's talk about the Messier. Oh wait, no, we got to tell us. So
we can't leave this.
Leave
leave
that
that's
one
the
out.
bomb right there.
Yeah, we got things going on
in
that
right
barrel,
there in my eyes.
So this one, I was pretty excited about because I knew that obviously it's going to have vanilla in it. So
DBVR is the name.
Yeah.
Correct.
Double barrel vanilla rye.
This is also
So you did there.
bourbon and a rye barrel that gets double barreled. But we actually got some vanilla beans from 3 different regions of the world. So we got Madagascar, which always has that kind of typical vanilla ice cream kind of aroma. We got Uganda, and then we also got Hawaiian, which they're very expensive, but they're extremely fragrant. They almost have
known for vanilla beans. I didn't know that.
Yeah, some of the most expensive vanilla in the world is from Hawaii. Wow. So we got a really good blend of those 3 for this one, and I think it brings out like just so much more than just a straight vanilla note. There's almost like a slight like floral fruit component that you get from the Hawaiian. The Madagascar's got that typical vanilla bean ice cream kind of. Uganda might have a little bit of like a little bit more of almost like a wood character, like a deeper, heavier character of vanilla. But when you blend them all together, it definitely creates a unique product.
So, Cody, you tried one of these. Which one did you try?
I had a 5-ounce pour of the DBVR, and it's gone.
It's gone. All right. So we know
that's always a good sign.
We know you can drink it fast. What did you think?
I didn't drink it fast.
No, I know.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it responsibly. Always drink responsibly. It was really good. I mean, I definitely got that vanilla character. The rye definitely came through. Like, I mean, it's just, again, balance is the key, right? And it's just a nice, smooth, balanced beer. So.
Thank you.
Does vanilla go better with a bourbon or rye, or because you blend it in 2 different, or you double barrel it? Is there something about vanilla that complements both of those spirits?
There's actually a compound in the wood itself called vanillin, which actually, just like it sounds, has a vanilla characteristic to it. So that's why a lot of places will add vanilla to barrel-aged stouts or any barrel-aged beer, because it just brings out that natural kind of vanilla wood character in it.
Yeah, I come to think, now that you mention it, there are a lot of barrel-aged stouts have vanilla, but now look at that. We're learning something, Cody.
A lot of bourbons.
Yes, a lot of bourbon
have a vanilla characteristics.
Which are and going back to Cody's inappropriate question about the vodka being sweet earlier, in bourbon you can get those sweet notes. And there's 100%. The difference. Some you get much more sweet notes than you get the spicy rye notes. But again, that's distilling. We're talking
They
about
don't
beer.
distill bourbon here, Brian. What's wrong with you?
I was just pointing out the absurdity of your initial question by having an absurd question of my own.
There's no such thing as a bad question.
Oh, wow. Oh,
well,
checkmate.
Tom, let's put that to the test.
Okay, let's go.
No. These are so we've got to get to the short pour, but I want to ask you 2 more questions. First, tell me about the Messier
series. So Messier was the what we didn't get the opportunity to barrel age just due to volume.
Okay.
So what we would do is we would do more or less experiments on the Messier series to kind of give us a baseline to where we think we could go with our barrel age somewhere down the line. By that I mean cassia bark, which is a baker cinnamon, things of that nature, things that you would normally not find in one of our stouts. We were able to do that. And at a point in time, I think we got to 9, if I'm not mistaken, Messier 9, and with just different ways of doing things. And there's such a demand right now for our barrel-aged stout, our Space Debris series. We don't have the luxury of having that much left over to where we can actually create a Messier series anymore. Now, I'm not saying we're banning it. We're suspending it for now and increasing our output for barrel-aged Space Debris just because that's what people are calling for.
And when you have people who are regulars and that's what they want, take care of the regular.
Yeah, they're not afraid to voice their opinion.
No, I've noticed that consumers in general.
Yeah, well, that's good. You know what? It's always a good baseline to get an idea of what people are thinking and what people are liking and what they're not liking, and it really helps guide us too. I take everything into consideration within reason, but yeah, So at that point in time, that our plan is in lieu of having that Messier series still around and bottling that and making that available to the general public, we're going to just take those whatever's left, and it'll be far less than what we had because of obviously more barrels. And we're going to have a tap. My goal is to have an Imperial Stout on the tap room pretty much all the time.
Nice.
Something that you can kind of have fun with too.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be a space debris, you know, because that's kind of like take a lot of time and effort to really, a lot of very expensive ingredients. I think a lot of people don't realize the reason that those space debris are so good and so highly sought after is because we get very, very specific, even 3 to 4 different types of coconut just to, you know, whether it's different toast levels, the way they're processed. We sometimes get them shipped from other countries just to put them in. So it's not a matter of us choosing to put out a small amount. It's, you know, we can't age these fast enough.
Right.
To, and we don't want to have something
3 years or 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
We're not going to pull something that's not ready.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to chance that.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of our barrel age series, and hopefully that continues to be the goal and the trend. So
one of the calling cards, and I'm going to give a shout out to Launch Sequence, the stout you guys made for your anniversary, which I've done nothing but tell people who I know. Cody, how many times have I told you about this
You
stout?
texted me about it at least twice.
yes.
At least twice.
So before we get to the short pour, David, I know the next thing on the agenda for you is the Bright Lights Light Lager. Mm-hmm. What is the next beer that you hope to tackle to bring to the taps here?
I have a crazy one that's on the way.
Oh, can you give us a hint?
It's gonna be a key lime pie in a glass.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in. All right. Keep watching these.
You will
socials.
bring me that.
yeah.
Well, you can come out.
It's gonna be tap room only, very small, experimental.
All right.
But
Everything's experimental till it's not.
Until it's a hit.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be with limited space. You probably do that a lot, right? You go, all right, let's try this. I have this idea, and then it explodes, and suddenly it's everywhere.
Well, that's the reasoning behind the experimental series. The experimental series, we have now taken, I think this is, okay, so we're on 8. I want to say there's 3 or 4 beers that we've actually made into beers from the experimental series. Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Key lime pie in a glass.
Yeah.
My favorite pie and my favorite delivery system. So this is, Cody, this could be the thing.
It's my favorite pie as well.
All right, see.
Stay
Well,
tuned.
sold. And we don't even know what it is.
Can I get a growler of the key lime?
No.
No. It's
No?
not ready yet.
Ready.
When it's ready?
If you want one, we'll get you
You got to
one.
come to the tap room.
You would
with
have
me.
to drink it
pretty quick.
very quick.
Yeah.
All right. I will come to the tap
Why don't
room
you just
then.
come out and have a beer?
Because
with me?
I'm lazy.
All right, well, then you can just live vicariously through me.
You live like a block from here.
I wish it was a block. Then I could walk.
Yeah,
No, I'm not far.
you're not far from here.
Not far.
That's fine.
All right, it is time for the short pour. That's where I ask each of our guests one question. They answer it in less than a minute, and then we see what happens. They don't know what's coming. I don't know what's coming. But we're going to start with Tom. Tom, as a co-owner, I'm going to ask you more of a businessy kind of question. As a man who oversees the brewery, who's here all the time, what is the most overrated beer trend right now, and why do you think that?
Wow. Most
That's a tough
overrated
one.
beer trend. Personally, I think it's the THC seltzers.
Okay.
Call me old fashioned, but there's, as I remember growing up, there was one way to consume THCs.
Right. And you want to buy it from a guy in a Trans Am behind McDonald's, right?
I guess.
Sure. The bag of stems that he pulls out of his jeans.
Sure.
That's how you want to do it.
It just seems a little, and maybe that's just because of my age.
Yeah.
I think that there's a time and a place for everything, and I think that drinking THC is the way to go. For me, I can't speak for the rest of America or anything like that. And there's certainly a place for them. Obviously, they've proven that. But for me, I believe that's the most overrated thing going right now.
See,
that's a great answer. It's not the social lubricant that alcohol is.
Right.
Like, I can have a couple drinks and feel like going up to a girl in a bar, like I'm in a bar, I have a couple THC drinks. I just want a bag of
wife is not
Doritos.
watching.
Well, that's
as
what I'm
quickly
saying.
as possible.
It's just, it's a strange component. I mean, it's, to me, it's like part of the charm is to have a beer with friends. I don't see me sitting around with a group of friends drinking a THC seltzer. But like I said, if you throw a bag of Doritos in there, that changes the whole dynamic.
Everything gets
you know what I'm
changed with a
saying?
bag of Doritos.
But
everything.
Again, that's just my opinion. Not that it's right or wrong or anything indifferent. It's just that me personally, I don't enjoy it, nor do I think I would.
Perfect. All right, now David, you've had time to prepare for any kind of question that comes your way.
All right.
This is more brewery related. What is your most memorable moment on a brew day, and what happened?
Most memorable moment, I was, I had a blueberry beer in a tank, and it was a short three barrel tank, and I remember I was messing with the racking arm, and I accidentally opened the valve. I bumped open the valve as I was standing in front of it, and it was pressurized.
Oh.
So it just shot and hit me really quick, and then I had to slam the valve closed.
Is it, forgive me for is it hot when it's in
No,
there?
it's just cold blueberry
Cold blueberry.
hitting you in the face.
Were you able to say, did it save enough of the...
Oh, yeah.
Were you able to keep doing it?
Luckily, I've seen a lot of brewers that accidentally take the tri-clamp off, and then it's almost impossible to fit the valve back on. But luckily, the valve was still connected. I just accidentally bumped it open and then just shut it right away.
Did you look like a Smurf?
Nobody was there, so I actually took pictures and sent it to the owners of the brewery.
I apologize.
Just to show them. I thought it was funny.
Very nice. All right, well, thank you both. Before we get to our final toast, I want to thank you for joining us on this edition of Crafty Brewers Tales Behind Craft Beer. Please, 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 I say this every episode, and I mean it now more than ever, be sure to support your local brewery. Without your support, it's rough going for some of your favorite small breweries, so be sure you're going in, tip the staff, buy some beers, get some beer to go, maybe buy some merch, whatever it is. Support your local breweries because you will be sad if they're gone. An alarming number of great breweries have recently announced that they're closing. So it's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to all of us who enjoy this beer to keep the doors open. Crafty Brewers Tales Behind Craft Beer is produced by award-winning podcast producer Cody Goff. That's you. You can visit our website, browse our archive of over 50 episodes, and get in touch with us or grab some of our fantastic merch at craftybrewerspod.com. We release a new episode of Crafty Brewers every other Thursday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the usual podcast apps. And if you want to support the show, you can leave a comment on our YouTube, on the YouTube video. Any comment's going to do. Or we just started a Patreon page. We are really, really begging for money, Cody. We don't get it, but we do have
We do get it. I was going to say, shout out to David S. for being a Perfect Pints patron. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
David. That's very nice.
Again, we don't want to make $1 million doing the show. We just would like it to cost us a little less money.
Gas is getting more expensive.
Let's
not get into why,
let's
Cody.
not get
Let's
into it.
just
It's
say
fine.
It's more expensive. So Patreon, leave a comment, tell your friends. That's great. Thanks again to Tom Soltis and David Basile from Brothership Brewing for being our guest today. Okay, I'm Brian Noonan. That brings us to our final toast, guys, where we go around and we just toast something. And we always start with our guest. Let's start down at the end. David, what would you like to toast today?
I would like to toast the fact that hazy IPAs went from being a laughingstock to now one of the highest beer trends in the beer industry right now.
Very nice. Tom?
I want to toast our patrons and the people that believe in us and got us here.
Very nice.
And to you for showing up today.
Oh, thank you. And I will, Cody, you got something?
I'll toast to you remembering last second, barely, but remembering to let me toast as well.
Yeah, what do you want to toast? Just toasting me with a mock?
No, I'm toasting
I don't think mockery
the
is a
fact that
toast.
you remember to let me toast, which you almost forgot. You forgot last time.
Yeah, that's because I really don't care what you have to say. No, I shouldn't say that. That's not right. No, I'm glad I remembered.
Yeah.
Because
we'll see how good I make you look in this edit.
Yeah, I'll be out. It'll just be, hey, where are those questions coming
You
from?
just blur your
Just
face
blur.
the whole time. I can AI you out so easy these days.
Don't
Claude,
threaten me during
Claude,
the toast.
Claude, we got some talking to do.
Don't threaten me in the toast. We're almost done. We're wrapping up.
I toasted threatening you in the toast.
And I want to toast another great brewery, which is becoming my wife and my go-to. I'm going to toast that I have become a hazy IPA convert, and you guys are part of the reason why. Thank you both for being here. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers it up. for
Cheers.
Cheers to you, Cody.
Cody, to you. And cheers to you. Thank you for watching.
I drank them both, so I don't have much to cheers with.
All right.
But now I'm done with the cheers thing.
Ready with that cheers thing so we could do the other thing?
Yeah.
All this talk about toast.
So
So I'm getting hungry.